today I'm going to show you how to solder automotive electrical wiring so you don't end up getting this garbage. As you can see, this come out of a car that I brought. It looks absolutely nice, doesn't it? And they decided that they'd use power wires, solder into one main instead of running a new wire. Now, what would have been ideal for this situation is that if you had a fuse box, which I'll just get you one of them and show you. This is the fuse box here. Now, normally you buy a fuse box, you'll have all the plugs on one side and you'll have a terminal like this, so you could run this from your battery and it'll connect to a lug on here and that will feed the power to all these, instead of doing this stuff, joining it all together. So I'll find a link for one of these fuse boxes where you hook the power up to that, so you don't end up starting a fire in your car from doing stuff like this. So what happens is, if you've got a power wire straight off your battery, you connect into a lug here and it powers all these fuses, and you can just run your thermo fan or your fuel pump, anything like electric water pump, you can use that. I'll show you a link for this. But today's video is going to be about, like obviously these fuse boxes and stuff are going to be for another video, about soldering and how to solder a proper joint. Now, you've got all types. You must use automotive wire when you're soldering on a car. This is all automotive wire here. I'll show you what you get when I've got a whole heap of wires here. Just move this back. Wire in the car computer, you'll get wire like this. This is all the wire you get from a ECU install into a car. It's all it's got a very hard coating on the outside, and you'll notice that you don't have to use stuff like this, these crappy connectors. Like, you're not going to be, I'll get a pair of wire strippers and show you. The wire's got like a special coating on it too. It's a copper wire, but it's got like a tin coating all through it. Instead of using this technique here, you got to use proper terminals. When you clamp these on here, I'll just give you a demonstration. You got me pair of crimps here. The wire's a little bit long, but that won't matter. I'll just crimp it down. Now this is what happens when you use these terminals in the car. It just pulls out. So you've got to make sure that you don't use these sort of terminals, you use the Deutsch ones. I haven't got any Deutsch ones here at the moment to show you because I'm out of them. But it's the same as these butt connectors here. You don't ever want to use these for wire in your car. If you use these and you put a wire in there, you'll have electrical problems in your car all the time. The wire will jiggle out a little bit, and over time will be very unreliable. So I've got heaps of different wires here, automotive stuff, because I do a lot of that stuff with cars, and I've got me soldering iron here. Just turn that on. I'll turn it right up. As you can see, my lights on. I've already got it hooked into the power point. Got myself a heat shrink tool. Got myself some high quality solder. It's resin coated solder. You must buy good quality if you're going to solder auto electrical wiring in a car. You've got to use good quality, not crap. You need some soldering paste. You just rub that on the wire, and Got some auto electrical wire here. I'll give you a demonstration how to join stuff up. Got myself heat shrink. Put the wire together. So we've got a straight bit of wire here. We'll just cut it off here. Strip it. Just like that. I'll twist it. Grab another bit. Twist that. Now I'll line them up. And I'll wrap them around each other. So it's really nice and neat. Just like that. Now we'll have to get some heat shrink for that. So I've got some heat shrink here. I need to put a bit of red over that join. I'll cut myself 2 pieces because I like to double up on it. So it's got a nice protective coat so it can't ever earth out anything. And you've got to do this before your solder job. Solder joint, twist it up so it's really nice and neat. Just thread it on the other end there. So now I've got that ready to go. Can use a couple of these tools that I've got in my hand here to hold it. Use some soldering paste. When I'm doing wiring in a car, this is what I do. I get it on my finger first. I rub it over the joint. You could use a little brush or something. And always put the lid back on it and keep the crap out of it. I've got my soldering wire here. And I'll use the tools here to hold it. And you heat it up from underneath like this. You don't want to go breathing in this stuff either. It's toxic. Any of the fumes. You touch the solder on the top of the wire. It's not quite hot enough yet. You can see it drawing into it. The solder must be drawing into the wire. You must get this connection very hot. Just take your time and do it. You can't rush. And that's how you solder a wire on a car. You don't go using these crappy terminals to join a wire like that, because this will get pulled out and it won't hold. Never use these, use solder. Otherwise, over time, the job what you done with them 2 terminals there, they'll get jerked backwards and forwards. One end won't touch, then the electrical won't work. Now if you've put heaps of them connectors, if you've done a lot of wiring on your car and you've put this garbage everywhere, and you got like 20 of these connectors and you got them butt connectors too. No, not one of them. You got these butt connectors what you've put in the wiring as well. You poke both ends in and that comes out. And you've got 20 or 25 of these in a vehicle where you've done wiring. They have problems. None of your electrical stuff's going to work. And you have issues. So put your heat shrink over it. This is the next step. Get your torch. Carefully put the heat shrink over it. Just go around it nice and easy. My heat shrink's a little bit big, I should have got the next size down for it. I like to put a second piece of heat shrink over it. The wire nice and tight, like this. If this was under the bonnet, you want to make sure you put double the heat shrink on it. So double the bits, like this here. Just be careful of this because it'll be very hot. You want to go burning yourself.